Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North, our top story tonight. A scheme to add extra emergency refuge areas to smart motorways in our region will make the roads safer, according to National Highways, but not everyone is convinced.
I don't think it makes it barely any safer at all. Your car is not going to break down where it's convenient for you. Your car is going to break down where it breaks down.
We've been given exclusive access to the Highways Agency project. Also tonight, the Prime Minister has been in Yorkshire today pledging to reallocate cash from the scrapped northern legs of HS2 rail line to local transport projects.
Lots of delicious ice cream sundaes in the police station cafe. Come with me and the three of us can eat ice cream together.
We meet the 6-year-old girl from Yorkshire who's off to Buckingham Palace after making the shortlist in a BBC story writing competition.
And after a lovely weekend, we all managed to see at least some sunshine today. This was a view towards Emley Moor from Denby Dale this afternoon. But what about the week coming up? Join me for that detailed forecast.
Hello, hope you had a lovely weekend. First tonight, a scheme to add 22 extra emergency refuge areas to smart motorways in our region will make the roads safer, according to National Highways. The building work on the M1 in South Yorkshire and Derbyshire means emergency areas that replace the hard shoulder will now be no more than 1 mile apart. Previously, they were spaced at a distance of up to 1.5 miles. Now, smart motorways first appeared in our region in 2013 when 15 miles of the M62 between Leeds and Huddersfield were converted. Since then, sections of the M1 in Derbyshire, South and West Yorkshire have also been changed to smart motorways. By 2019, 38 people had been killed on smart motorways nationally, undermining public confidence. So, last year, the government cancelled all new smart motorways, saying no more would be built, and it promised to add extra emergency refuge areas. Our transport correspondent Spencer Stokes has been given exclusive access to see how the work is progressing.
A huge but almost hidden construction project alongside the M1 in South Yorkshire. 650 lorry loads of recycled soil are being tipped here to raise and widen the embankment. The space created will allow an extra emergency refuge area to be built, just one of 22 being grafted onto the side of the M1 by National Highways.
So typically on a motorway without a permanent hard shoulder, you'll see one of these bays. They're bright orange. We've got SOS signs marking where they are. Typically they're about one every 1.2 miles. We're decreasing that to about every 3/4 of a mile. So every less than a minute travel and you'll come across one of these bays.
In retrospect, should you have added more at the beginning of the Smart Motorway programme?
We delivered the programme. Those motorways are safer than the roads that they replaced, but we know that there's more that we can do to help motorists feel safe on those roads, which is why we're introducing these new bays.
On smart motorways, the hard shoulder is converted into a live lane to add capacity. Surveillance systems spot if a driver has stopped, and emergency areas provide intermittent refuge. But near misses like this one and a series of high-profile crashes undermined claims they're the safest roads to drive on. Jason Mercer was killed instantly when a lorry ploughed into him on the smart motorway at Meadowhall in 2019. His widow, who campaigns against smart motorways, doubts that adding extra refuge areas will improve safety.
I don't think it makes it barely any safer at all. Your car is not going to break down where it's convenient for you. Your car is going to break down where it breaks down. These extra refuge areas, they keep introducing these half measures, patch jobs and compromises, but it's no good. And they're just throwing hundreds of thousands more pounds at it when really they should just be admitting that it's not worked and it wouldn't cost a single penny to turn the first lane off and we'd have the hard shoulder back.
Last year, the government cancelled all new smart motorways, citing a lack of public confidence. The data on safety divides opinion. Overall, casualties have fallen, but stopping on one is more dangerous than a conventional motorway.
Is it the case if you stop on a smart motorway, you're more likely to be killed or seriously injured? than on a conventional motorway.
So the numbers are incredibly small of any incident, and any death or serious injury on our roads is an absolute tragedy. There's no road that is 100% safe, and the improvements we're putting in is just trying to make those safer still.
The new emergency refuge areas should be ready next year. A safety upgrade designed to provide both protection and reassurance on smart motorways. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North, South Yorkshire.
Well, from the motorway to the rest of our transport network. When the government pulled the plug on the planned high-speed rail link to the north late last year, they said money would instead be spent on local transport projects. Well, today we had a little more detail about what that might mean. Tom Ingle is here. Tom, did we learn much more today?
In a word, no. But I can try and fill in some of the gaps for you. You'll remember, as you say, when HS2 was cut back from Leeds and then cut back from Manchester, there was going to be a pot of cash reallocated, is the government's word, to spend on projects in local communities. I think it's important to say, though, there is no big bag of cash sitting in the vaults at HS2. That was money being borrowed by the government to pay as they go. And these new commitments today will still require funding somehow. So let's get into what they've promised. Here's the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak.
We've taken every penny of that and are reinvesting it across the North and the Midlands in the forms of transportation that people care more about. We're putting local people in charge of how that money is spent and giving them the long-term funding certainty so that they can plan properly. That's what today's announcement is about, and it's a real example of levelling up in action.
So we've had a little bit more detail about what he means there. He's going to give pots of cash to local councils, perhaps smaller cities, metropolitan areas, not the big northern cities, and say, here you are, over 7 years, spend it on concerns that you have, that people are telling you where they want fixes. That could be bus projects, road projects, railway projects. So all of that is still in the mix, but there is actually no detail about what that money could be spent on. You'd imagine reaction to this is going to be depending on where you are on the political spectrum. Henry Murison, first of all, from the Northern Powerhouse Partnership.
When you look back, they've had a decade and a half to try and improve local transport and local services, and they haven't done that. Leeds still hasn't got its tram. So many things have not been progressed. And saying, if I win the next election, I might give some councils a bit of the money that I took away from you, that I've already told you I was going to give you, it doesn't feel like big news to me.
Now, we've previously heard about plans for South Yorkshire and West Yorkshire. Today's announcement was focused on about £400 million being provided to North Yorkshire. We asked the Deputy Leader of York City Council what he thought of it. He says, well, on the face of it, it sounds great, but we don't know if this is new money, if this is a recycled announcement. And he also, which made me chuckle, certainly, he says the Prime Minister was at the proposed site for Haxby Station. If government announcements built stations, Haxby would have about 7 by now. Can you smell an election in the offing? I think I can.
There's certainly one round the corner. Tom, thank you. You're watching Monday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. Family and friends of the late Sheffield United footballer Maddie Cusac have walked 40 miles in her memory. But before that, Nigel Casson from Scarborough spent 10 years living with motor neuron disease before he chose to end his life at the Dignitas Clinic in Switzerland. Now, assisted dying is illegal in the UK, but it is legal in other countries. Now, 7 years after Nigel's death, his wife Julie has written a book about her family's journey. She's been speaking to Phil Connell.
He was very concerned that he would be completely trapped within his own body, that his body would become his tomb, and he knew that he would lose his sense of self, his spirit, his happiness, and he just couldn't bear the thought of that.
It's 7 years since Julie's husband Nigel chose to end his life at Dignitas in Switzerland. His 10-year battle with motor neuron disease had reached a pivotal stage, and Nigel, who was 62, wanted to take control. Although in this country it's illegal to assist in someone's death, his wife and 3 children chose to go with him. The authorities, though, have become more sympathetic, and in this case, no charges have ever been brought.
There was no way I could have stopped him, so we were all very much in support of him. Even though it would have been, we would all have wanted a more natural death. But he was nothing if not determined, as Nigel. He was, you know, he had to take control of his death like he took control of his life.
Like Nigel, around 350 Britons have now bypassed the laws here by travelling to Dignitas, a journey which in Nigel's case had many joyful memories, with Nigel the family's linchpin, supporting his wife and 3 children to the very end. So in the midst of all this heartache and trauma, Nigel was still very much able to make people laugh.
Oh, definitely, definitely, right to the very end. Yeah. Often quite inappropriately, but that was Nigel. He was very calm and very at peace with it.
At the family's home in Scarborough, Julie has now put pen to paper. She's written a book about Nigel's final decision, a story which she says needs to be told.
Oh, I think it's hugely important. He was the inspiration behind it in the first place. The way he dealt with the disease, then his determination to control his death. You shouldn't have to, no dying person should have to make that journey.
Are you hopeful this book will help to change that now?
I would absolutely love it to, yes, if it can. Because it's a very personal story, and it's told in pretty much detail. So if it could change the law, I'd be delighted. And I'm sure Nigel would be thrilled as well.
Phil Connell, BBC Look North, Scarborough.
Let's have a look at some other stories coming into the newsroom now. A man has gone on trial for the murder of 2 men outside a nightclub in Halifax in October last year. Joshua Clark and Haider Shah died and a 3rd man was injured in the attacks. Bradford Crown Court heard that 3 men were stabbed after a row broke out over a woman in Halifax nightclub. Rashane Douglas denies murder and attempted murder but has admitted possession of a knife. Meanwhile, Yazin Iqbal is also on trial, charged with assisting an offender. Bradford's political leaders say they have to make up £115 million of cuts to spending budgets over the next 5 years. The council's asking the government for emergency help to balance the books. The authority will need to save at least £30 million a year with strict measures, including selling council buildings and land. Council leader Susan Hinchcliffe says there are really difficult decisions to be made. Now over to the sport with Sal, and she certainly got the green memo.
I did, yeah.
We're twinning
I was green
tonight.
with envy when I saw your dress, Amy. Well, let's stick to the sport. Yeah, we start with a big win in golf. Joe Dean from Sheffield is a part-time golfer and part-time supermarket delivery driver. But that might not be the case for long, because he's just won £170,000 by finishing runner-up at the Kenya Open. It's the best result of his career so far. I caught up with him earlier.
Yeah, it's been an exciting 24 hours. It's been a bit surreal. So yeah, just still trying to accept that what's happened has happened. So can't wait. Yeah, enjoying it.
Were you nervous? How do you keep your head in such big moments?
So a couple of spectators asked me the same question coming off 18, and really the answer is in my case, and. Yeah, that's just one of the answers, I suppose.
This is big prize money, isn't it? £170,000. Is it going to change your life?
It's going to become very close to. I mean, it's a hell of a lot of money for myself especially, and for quite a lot of people out there. It's a hell of a lot of money. So it's going to make my life quite a bit easier, and hopefully maybe pay off a bit towards my house and mortgage. So. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes first.
Well, we have spoken to a couple of people who've known you for a long time, so take a listen to this, Joe.
Honestly, we are so proud of him, and he has lifted the morale, especially in the home delivery department. I don't know how long it's going to take him to do his drop-offs now with our customers and be signing a few autographs, I would have thought.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's great for everybody who wants to take up golf. Look at that, and look what he's done to get there, working at Morrison's and putting himself about like that. I think it's a great prospect for anybody who wants to take up golf, following his footsteps. Just do it. If you can play it, play it.
Thanks for making us all proud, Joe. Putting Morrison's works up on the map, and we've got a few surprises for you for when you come back for your first shift back.
And Joe, that was Victoria from Morrison's, if you hadn't guessed, and Graham Needham as well.
Yeah,
some surprises in store then for you.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what they've got planned for me when I get back there.
And I guess the question is, are you going to be turning up at someone's door anytime soon with a Morrison's delivery?
There's quite a chance. I'm still under contract, so and I've got could have a few weeks off coming up. So yeah, I might try and get a few more shifts in before maybe a final farewell.
Great to speak to Joe Dean earlier. Now football, and it was a crucial win for Leeds over Leicester at the top of the Championship on Friday night. And at the other end of the table, Sheffield Wednesday are just 3 points from safety after winning again. Ike Ugbo hammered home 2 goals in the first half against Bristol City. Wednesday held on to secure a 2-1 win, making it 3 wins in 4 games for the Owls. Also at the wrong end of the Championship table, Huddersfield Town won thanks to 2 goals from Danny Ward in the final 20 minutes of their match against Watford. The 2-1 win made it a good start for New Terriers boss Andre Breitenreiter. In League One, Barnsley beat promotion rivals Derby County 2-1 at Oakwell. Adam Phillips equalised for the Reds and then went on to secure the win with a goal midway through the second half. And Doncaster Rovers beat Wimbledon by a single goal thanks to Hakeem Adelican just 3 minutes in. The win takes the Rovers to 5 games unbeaten as they pull away from the relegation zone. On to Rugby League, and in the Challenge Cup, York Acorn made it to the 5th round of the competition for the first time in their history. They narrowly beat rivals Wath Brown Hornets 32-28 and will face 5-time Challenge Cup winners Halifax Panthers. Ice hockey now, and after defeat to the Cardiff Devils on Saturday night, the Sheffield Steelers got back to winning ways on home ice with a 4-1 victory over the Coventry Blaze. The Steelers are 12 points clear at the top of the Elite League table. Now, family and friends of Sheffield United footballer Maddie Cusac walked 40 miles in her memory over the weekend. Maddie died in September last year, aged 27. Her loved ones walked from Pride Park in Derby to Bramall Lane in Sheffield to raise money for the Maddie Cusac Foundation, which supports young girls who want to become footballers. And it was an emotional day for the group, with Maddie always in their thoughts.
5 a.m. on a frosty morning at Derby County's Pride Park, the starting point for a 40-mile walk in memory of Maddie Cusac.
Maddie was really athletic, she loved sport, she loved football, so yeah, it was really, this is for Maddie.
She would have really enjoyed this walk. She would be the first one and say, come on everyone, you can do it.
Maddie was the longest serving player for Sheffield United's women's team, but in September last year she died at home. The FA has launched an investigation into the circumstances leading up to her death. For Maddie's parents, this walk and the foundation set up in her name is something positive to come out of the darkness.
Maddie's always in our thoughts.
She was very determined, so I'm going to be determined as well.
She'd love something like this.
And it's important for us to keep Madeleine's name alive, because she was obviously, the outpouring that we've had, she affected a lot of people in a very positive way, and we need to continue that.
It's like the old truism, isn't it? After something bad, something good has got to happen.
By lunchtime, the walkers are in Clay Cross. Time for a pit stop to refuel for the miles ahead.
We're such a close-knit family, and we still are, and a lot of that does spring to mind, especially like walking alongside my mum and dad and like family, friends and things. So I know that if Maddie was in my shoes, she'd be able to do it, and she'd do it for me. So that is my main reason why I'm doing it today.
3 hours and thousands of steps later, the challenge reaches Chesterfield, home of the Spyrights.
It's game day. They're about 26 miles in with 14 miles to go. And at this point, it's really starting to hurt.
Knees now, yeah, knees and calves. I think stopping and starting is the one bit that gets you. But I think once we get going now, we'll be all right. So, yeah, plodding on.
The feet are on fire, absolutely on fire, but I'm okay. I'm powering on.
And finally, just before 8 p.m, the group arrive at Bramall Lane, the stadium Maddie called home for so many years.
Yes, it was a challenge. It was really mentally and physically really tough, but everybody together in a big group, it was really good. Everyone got each other through it, so that's the main thing.
Can't believe I've done it. Absolutely shattered. I'm done.
So proud of you.
Shattered. My feet are on fire. But I'm dead chuffed I've done it. Really pleased for Madeleine, because it shows some of the spirit that she had. So I've done it all for her.
And if you or someone you know has been affected by the issues raised in tonight's report, you can contact the BBC Action Line via bbc.co.uk/action line for details of organisations which offer advice and support. And well done to everyone who did that epic challenge, really moving as well.
Yeah, I was going to say it was really touching, was that? Thank you, Sal. Now, finally tonight, meet 6-year-old Maddie from Wakefield. She has reached the final of the BBC 500 Words competition. Over 40,000 children entered the short story contest, and Lucy is one of just 50 to be invited to Buckingham Palace to have tea with Queen Camilla. I've been to meet the budding author, Mum Caroline and head teacher Mrs Gill. But first, let's hear a little bit of Lucy's story, The Worst Day Ever.
I'm sorry, Ben, said Charlotte, but your ice cream has melted. And I'm so sorry, I can't buy you another one because the ice cream van has driven away. Wah, 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 cried Ben. This was actually the worst day ever. Don't worry, said the policeman. There are lots of delicious ice cream sundaes in the police station cafe. Come with me and the three of us can eat ice cream together.
Lucy, what a fantastic story. Where did you come up with the idea for that?
I came up with the idea from an episode of Mr Bean and Thorne's Park.
And what do you like about writing, Lucy?
I like the characters and bringing the story to life.
Well, you certainly do that in your story. What do you think about reaching the final of this competition, Lucy?
I feel really, really excited and proud.
I bet you do. Do you think you want to be a writer when you get older, Lucy?
I'm going to be a chef who writes cookery books.
You have got it all sorted. Mum, you must be so proud of Lucy.
I am incredibly proud of Lucy. She works very hard. Everything that she puts her mind to, she puts her whole heart and soul into it. So I think she's done really, really well.
Mrs Gill, how inspiring to have a child at your school in the final for this competition.
I know, it's amazing. Lucy has shared a story with her class this morning and they've all been incredibly proud of her. Everything she does, we celebrate in school. So she's part of our Little Leaders programme. You can see she's our deputy head girl at the moment. So we'll have to make quite a big speech at our speech day in July. The children do inspire us at school. They are an absolute credit to us. We're very, very proud.
Lucy, I hear you're going somewhere really exciting on Wednesday. Where are you going?
I'm going to Buckingham Palace on Wednesday and getting the day off school.
Wow, and who are you meeting at Buckingham Palace?
The Queen, and have afternoon tea with her.
Oh, Lucy, how are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling very, very excited and very, very proud.
Important question, have you got the outfit sorted?
Yes. I'm going to be wearing my blue sparkly dress with sequins on it, a posh coat that's grey with black buttons and some black on it, and some black Pokemon shoes that are really shiny and new.
Fit for a queen. Mum, how are you feeling about this? Oh my goodness, you get to meet the Queen.
I know, it's so exciting. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so we're going dressed up all posh, aren't we, Lucy? Go and meet the Queen.
Have you been practising your curtsy?
Yes, I have.
Oh, perfect. Well, Lucy, have a fabulous time, won't you? And will you come into the studio and tell us all about it?
Yes, I will.
Lovely, thank you. Have fun.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What a bright spark Lucy is. The cutest little thing ever, isn't she? And we'll let you know how she got on. Finally tonight, a mystery explained. A boat from a theme park log flume was found washed up on the banks of the river in Sheffield. Only on Look North would we tell this story, so I'm going to hand over to Ollie Constable.
How does an Alton Towers log flume boat end up in a river in Sheffield? This is where it should have been.
I need the log flume in a bit.
In the garden of Mick Foster. He bought it from the theme park a few years ago when the ride closed. He said he'd had a few drinks and managed to bid on it on eBay. But back in October, heavy rain swept it into the River Sheaf.
Where's my log flume boat gone?
Now it's washed up half a mile downstream, causing quite a stir for locals. The plan now is to try and get it back home. Mick says his mates at a local arm wrestling club can help him drag it back, but only when the weather gets better. Ollie Constable, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
I mean, that's a crazy story. Why would you want a log flume in your garden?
I don't know, it'd be quite something, wouldn't it?
I mean, why not?
And there's been enough rain to get it down that river, hasn't there?
Certainly has.
Right, look at that. Have you ever seen a fog boat before? That's absolutely fantastic.
No, but I've seen lots of sheep before. What am I looking at there?
That's a fog boat. It's probably too close, but the viewers at home can see that.
Oh, it looks like a rainbow, but in white.
So the water droplets are so small within the fog that you end up looking at a white bow rather than a rainbow. That's quite spectacular. That's up Wharfdale. And another one that was spectacular on Saturday.
Wow.
Absolutely beautiful. That's Littondale with the fog there in the valley bottom. You can see a bit of frost over the tops of the hills. Stunning stuff. What a lovely weekend it was. If you've got any pictures you'd like to send to me on Twitter, on Instagram and on the Weather Watcher website, get them sent in. Now, it's another changeable week, the end of February, beginning of March on Friday. Can you believe that? Tomorrow looks rather cloudy. There'll be a little rain in places, but after that we've got rain later on Wednesday, at first on Thursday, and then again on Friday. That looks quite lively as it comes through on Friday. Then low pressure just sits there. Although there could be some sunshine on Saturday, it remains very unsettled indeed. Right, there's the radar picture. You can just about see the speckled clouds bringing some rain showers in from the North Sea. And those will continue for a few hours yet. They're going to fizzle out then under clear skies. It is going to be a cold one. Take care on the roads. There'll be some frost, icy patches and perhaps some fog, especially across eastern parts of South Yorkshire. Low 0 to -1 degree Celsius, a bit lower in countryside areas. Tomorrow's high water times in Scarborough 5:47, Bridlington at 6:10. So watch out for that fog and frost and ice, otherwise it's a fine start. Not going to last, cloud thickens. A couple of weak weather fronts bringing some patchy rain eastwards. Bit of a miserable affair across the Pennines, but further to the east, I think amounts of rain will be quite small. Temperatures close to average, but I think after that cold start and the wind picks up, it is going to feel fairly cold tomorrow. 8 Celsius in York and Doncaster is 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Further ahead then on Wednesday, a fine start, some rain later. Thursday, a wet start, fine later, rain on Friday, and then a bit brighter, a little bit more settle over the weekend. Some sunshine Saturday, showers though never far away. That's the forecast.
I did love that sunshine this weekend. It was gorgeous, wasn't it?
Fantastic.
Even wore the sunglasses. That's it from us. Mark's here with your late news. Bye-bye for now.